Technical difficulties. I see that comment, David. He hates Alkosh on main tank. I don't mind it on off tank. I don't mind it on an off tank. I don't like it on main tank. Probably no worse than when he is talking about Alkosh on main tank. Yeah, no, I hate it. Hate it. Hate it. Gosh. I used to run Eben, Alkosh, and Bloodspawn, but the tanking setup was way too blah for me. Right. I run Thunderbug, Storm Knight. Oh, that's a Sork. Oh, is it a DK tank? Ooh, that's interesting. I'd like to see that one. I really liked it when I went Alkosh, Kvatch, Gladiator, and Bloodspawn for my health was, but for me, health was a little low. I haven't seen a Kvatch build in a while, you know. That used to be like really big too. Let's hope I don't bump into another technical difficulty. I just want to finish this really quick. One more shot at it. Thanks. Technical difficulties, man. It happens. I can't say it doesn't. It does. It does. It does. It does. I mean, seriously, man, I don't know, but if you guys are on PC, like, you know how you get blue screened on your console, right? Sometimes you have to reset your console. Okay, there's two different types of crashes on Elder Scrolls on PC because it's very CPU heavy. Either you'll get the little white notification box and everything will be like Elder Scrolls has stopped working, or you'll get an entire system lock where your system just reboots, right? It sucks. Like, because it just reboots. It's just like, you know, fuck you, we're shutting down. I'm like, I don't have this problem with any other game except this game majority of the time. I'm thinking about upgrading my chipset. I just don't know if that would really help. I really don't know, to be honest with you. I run an FX chipset, AMD FX, and it's a 6-core, so 3.2, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I could get a little higher, but, you know, I still rock Kvatch on my main Templar tank with Plague Doctors, with Swarm Mothers, and still tanks endgame. Yeah, dude, like, seriously, that's one thing, like, you know, I understand, like, the content creators who say, well, this is what we're getting for best results, but at the same time, like, I don't want people ostracizing people, man. That's the only thing I don't want. That can be a graphics card overheat or the CPU overheating, and the FX chipset is known for overheating. Yeah, and that's the thing though. My motherboard will only carry up to. I got a cross board. I switched out my Mobo, but I have a 7 Series 8 Radeon graphics card. So I'm using the Sapphire graphics card, which is really good. I'd rather have to replace the CPU than the GPU, for sure. And I had to change out my settings because, like, right now I can get between 30 and 40 frames per second with this configuration. I was on high settings and I was still getting pretty good frames. You know, when I was in certain things, I was getting up to 50. But when I went into a trial, my frame rate dropped to about 8 to 12. So I had to drop down a bunch of shit for trials on PC. I was like, holy shit. Like, I thought the lag on console was bad, but shit. And my dude, he runs a beast of a system, and he had the same problems, man. It was like, fuck. He's got a friggin' 8-core processor, all sorts of decked out shit. He's friggin' cross-fired. I'm like, dude, and he's struggling. Holy crap. But his graphics look so sick. I gotta charge my weapon. On Xbox, just close out the app. It used to happen all the time on PvP before patch. Yeah, dude, seriously, dude. Like, I've seen so many different ways of crashing. I don't crash usually in trials, though, so that was kind of a good thing. But I've seen people do it. You can get a better CPU cooling system. I did on my old FX chip 8-core because, yeah, I was thinking about going to the 8-core. Did that actually make a difference? And I'm using the Coolmaster. I forget which heatsink is, but I'm using a Coolmaster heatsink. Like a huge, big, towering thing, cooling system. So, like, my cooler's the biggest one I can get without going liquid. Any heavy sacks? No. Yeah, I was thinking about going up to the 8. I can only slot up to. I can't put in the new chipset on my Mobo though, so I can get up to the highest FX series on my chipset because of the pin. Now my bus speed is pretty good too, so I don't know, man. I love how you explain things. He has just a lot of decked out stuff. My name is David. I approve this message. I love it. Like, seriously, like my PC rig is like double any of my console rigs. All of it. My RAM, my hard drive, my graphics. It's like double my fucking shit. And I still have issues. It's like, holy crap, man. Like right now I'm running between 80 to 90% CPU capacity and all cores are unlocked. But I have to because I'm running OBS. But there's only one core being used in the game, but still it's real. I suggest you switch AMD for Intel. Number of course, yeah, but my Mobo's already set AMD. And I just switched out my Mobo. That's the problem. I just spent like $300 on my new Mobo because I wanted a cross-platform for my Windows 10 because my My old Mobo wasn't Windows 10. They didn't upgrade the drivers for Windows 10, so I got a new Mobo that was Windows 10 compatible and still ran any FX chipset and any of it, and it also supported up to 3 different versions of RAM. So that's why I went with the Mobo that I did. It was next to the highest Mobo that I could get for my parameters. I couldn't go with the Tiger. There was like a Tiger series. That shit was like 600. I was like, nah, no. Oh, hell no. I'm a poor man. Paying $300 was just nuts for me. Yeah, I run an i5 right now, 32 gigs of RAM. Now, see, that's another thing I was thinking about doing, but it wouldn't cause the crash. I'm only running, I think, 16 gigs. So I can support up to 32. My board supports up to 32 gigs, but I'm only running 16. AMD Ryzen CPUs are supposed to be badass. That's the only chipset. My dude's running that like an 8-core on that chipset right there, and it is badass. But he still has problems with ISO. Burning Spell Weave Ring, great. I need the necklace. Hopefully I get the neck. It is a badass. It's badass chipset, man. I can tell you, dude. And he's cross-fired with forget which GPU. But he's crossfired and it looks badass. Ah, shit. No way, I had enough. Come on, man. Can I block cancel? Are really good, but then the FX series caused the FX overheating, and I think that's my issue. Like, well, only when I'm playing certain games. If I'm playing other games, it's not so much. It's not as apparent, you know. So it really is a difference depending on the game I play too. I've noticed. Sorry guys, was a PC tech for almost 10 years. Yeah. Like, I never did tech, but I used to, like, build all my rigs and build people's rigs. So, yeah. And some of the newer stuff is way better than what they were pushing 10 years. Oh, right. My rig's only, like, 3.5 years old, though. Don't let them slap you around like that, mister. I know, right? Yeah, my rig is about 3.5 years old. And when this system was built, that's when the new chipsets came out. Big time difference, man. That's another thing I hate, though. When you build a rig, and then all the stuff, as soon as you're done building it, shit comes out. Like, new shit comes out. And you're like, what? What? But PCs will last you pretty good on majority of the game. So when this PC was built, like, Elder Scrolls was, like, came out for PC, so ideally it met all the requirements that I needed it to. Morning, Rock. What's up, dude? Hope you're having a good day. Why did that boss just go over here? That is so weird. Did anybody see that? What the heck is this? This is crazy. Come on, be nice. PC gaming, the most expensive for gaming if you upgrade all the time, right? Run a trial with us and you won't end up with no runners. All right, dude, it sucked. It was a pug, I mean, but like a couple people asked me if I could just at least do any sort of whatever to show like how the other healers worked. And I was pugging. I was like, yeah, I guess I should. Like I did with the Nightblade already, but just to get people an idea. But yeah, I mean, it was no organization whatsoever. But I told you, man, let me know and hit me up. Message me and we'll squeeze something in, man, for sure. Now, I'm not trying to be competitive. If you guys want to be all like that, whatever. But I like to show viability, and that's what I do. Morning. Morning, Todd. Hope you're having a good day, dude. Like I said, like one of my guilties was like, oh this or oh that, and was talking about like builds, and I was like, well, that's my cue. And they're like, what are you doing? I said, well, you know, I'm going to take my DK healer and go do something. He's like, oh, I would love to go ahead and roll with you and check out that build, Mystic. And I'm like, nah, I don't think so. I don't heal for meta players. And I'm like, I have a reputation to uphold. I'm not feeding into people's ignorance. People want to roll with me, that's fine. Don't talk about builds and act like you know what the fuck you're talking about if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. God, I had to fucking block up. Come on, bitch. Pug life. Always. 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 Well, I mean, I do roll with some organized play. But I'm picky. I'm very fucking picky. Good morning, Marcus. Hope you're having a good day. Yeah, no, I have no problem rolling with people. As soon as they talk about shit they don't know, I will go the fuck off. I will go off the fucking wall. Because they don't check static values, they don't know fucking shit, and that's why a lot of content creators get them from BIS. I told them, I said, I'll go comparison to comparison, static by static, skill by skill, go down the line. Don't fucking talk about class balance, don't talk about this shit. You'll make me go off, and I'll target you. I will. I fucking will, every fucking day of the week. I have 21 years. You boys better stay with whatever you're doing and shut the fuck up. I got 21 years in. I was a former elitist. And when I mean former elitist, I was the dick of dicks in MMOs. Companies loved me and they hated me at the same time. And I got to do so much for the industry throughout my years. Pugging makes you a better player. Yeah, it does. It puts you in unfamiliar situations most of the time. Get you familiar with the builds, too. I want this burning spell we fucking neck. Should have put my range taunt on, but I'm not too worried about it. That's a fact, Han. Been looking at a new system NVIDIA. Oh, dude. Right? I think like 16. I don't know, like as far as like the bus speed's more important depending on your RAM, you know? Like I know somebody had like, you know, whatever. I mean, I wish I could upgrade to a couple of the systems. Let me get that off. But laugh aloud, it's not that easy as it sounds, right? Like, that's the thing that drove me nuts coming into this game. Like, we didn't have the target dummies, then we get target dummies, and all of a sudden, target dummy is now a parse. I'm like, when the fuck does that ever happen in a fucking MMO? I'm like, do you guys ever fucking seen a parser? I mean, fucking really? Have you seen metrics? You know what a fucking metric system is? You know what a real parser looks like and how it calculates fucking damage? And you're gonna call that target dummy a fucking parser? Shut the fuck up. Please don't make me smack you. That's why we always go static. Even if we could never whatever, the static values are what we always push for. I was taught that, like, way long time ago. There should be a Pug Trial Healer title. I would love it. That would be badass, actually. Nothing wrong with Pug Life. I have found some really good solo players that way. Don't depends on the group build. Right, the dynamics are always going to be an important factor. Like right now, man, like I'm on my Sork tank. You know how many times I've had to deal with shit being like, oh, it's about the DK, it's about the DK, and I'm like, y'all are fucking stupid. Like my main trial healer when I first started this game, fuck me. Please say yes, somebody fucking say yes. I think I'm gonna need to do two. Bomber! They're looking. Somebody's looking. I'm hoping. I'm waiting. Here we go, folks. We're off to the races. You know, the funny thing about it is I'm not, and once again, no, I do not know what a metric system is. I am from a mercy. We operate in foot and inches. Oh, God. You know, but the funny thing is, tanks on Alkosh, I get why people use Alkosh. I'm not saying I don't, but it offers nothing for mitigation. Yeah, that's the funny thing. About to pug right now. Yeah, get it going. It's Pug Life. You know it's Pug Life. We keep it real all the time. And the funny thing about it is, though, pugging DLCs is not always... I can pug any other non-DLC vet, but when I'm in a DLC vet, I don't care. I don't care if I pug. I just want players to know their shit. That's all. It's like, you know, the same thing, man. Like, I'm not dismissing players saying, oh, this works for us. I'm not dismissing that. But the question of it is, like, the first tank I had when before the one Tamriel switchover and Maul first came out and we were doing all this stuff was a Sork tank, right? And we did a Hell Ra and all this other stuff when they started whatever. It was I wasn't rolling, but I was in a guild with a Sork tank. And people were like, oh, it's not a real endgame tank if it's not a DK. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Do you know how fast this dude blows a Warhorn? He gets a 2-to-1. And I'm like, and I think I can get 3-to-1 on a Warhorn, right? I think I can even lower it more further than that. And I'm like, DK is strong. I'm not debating the DK, its capability of tanking. It's not a question. The DK is a novice tank build. It's novice. It's like, yeah, it works because it's tanking setup is pretty apparent in its kit. Every other one you have to build around what it doesn't have, what it lacks, and understanding how that tank applies mitigation or preventive measures of deflecting damage. And I'm like, but the Sork, I'm like, seriously? If we're going to talk about uptime on Warhorn, and if you're going to have an off tank, I'd like to see the Sork. If you're only going to have one tank, I don't really care what class it is, but certain classes are going to have, easier time, setup. That's what they're doing. It's the easy button. That's all it is. It's easy button. Like, it's unstable. Like, the content's hard. All vet trials are hard. But people want the easiest way to do it. Oh, by the way, Mystic, I sent you the friend invite, so we can start working towards that collab. Okay, sweet, excellent. Yeah, make sure you get a hold of me, Sherman, after the DLC drops, and yeah, we'll do that collab, dude. Yeah, I'm definitely down. I'll let you do the host. Do the Mighty Mouse song, M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E, Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse. Orin, what's up? Forever, ever, hold our hand up high, 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 high. I don't need to do vet trials. I just want to finish one. It's good for the gold jewelry. I mean, it is. And if you want the fluff and that and titles and shit, cool, excellent. Congrats on the new mic, Sherm. Yeah, man. I can't wait, dude. But seriously, hey, welcome back, Sylvia. I think they're good at what they're doing, and I'm not debating that. I'm just saying it's not limited and it's not fucking restricted. The devs never intended it. They've never said it. It's just every class has a novice build. For a gamer like me, like Templar, I have a Templar healer, but I've made it last. Why? It's novice. I knew when I looked at it, I'm like, okay, it's healings kits right here. Now, how's the other class applications apply? Because this is Elder Scrolls. If it's a true Elder Scrolls game, well, you're never limited. You're never restricted. That's what Elder Scrolls Universe is about. It's always been that's the premise, the whole setup for Elder Scrolls Universe. True DKs are really easy to use when tanking, but I'm having much more fun with the Sork Tesla tank build. Just hold aggro and AoE mobs down, right? That's awesome. Like, I love the CCs the Sork tanks have, but in vet trials, a lot of mobs are immune to CCs, so that becomes problematic, especially if you're going to apply, the minor intellect buff or anything like that. Not the minor prophecy buff. Thanks, Todd. Trying to work out a few bugs right now. Yup. But definitely, guys, me and Sherman, we're going to hopefully get a collab after the DLC launches. So we'll be probably a month or two out. I'm going to let Sherman host it. I'll do a link down the road, and hopefully we get this all, rolling up. I'm going to be actually calling it for the day. I do got to get on the Xbox. I'm going to try the Twitch. We'll see. We'll see. Worst case scenario, I might have to just, config my OBS and then hit the play and then run in the other room. I have the controller and the mic set up. So, worst case scenario. But, sing the Red Diamond song with the guitar drummer sings. Oh, shit, dude. I don't even know all that song. I just know the melody. Red Diamond, Red Diamond. I mean, I even forget after that. Laugh out loud. Definitely feeling the love in here. Thanks, Mystic. Thanks, Lewis. Hey, Rock. How are you? Yeah. It's a lot of love. I love my community, man. I really do. I love the community in Elder Scrolls. And that's the funny thing I'm always pushing. It's okay to be competitive. I was once competitive when I was young. I get it. I get it. I get it. And it's cool, man. It really is. But oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Krill. Oh, my God. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to have to look it up now. I think it's getting there. I think it's like, I want to say, depending on who you go to, it can be up to $50 for your domain a month. I don't know, but I'm going to have to look into it. I've gotten 2 donations towards the website. So, and it's going to be a directory, and I'm going to get a hold of other content creators, and hopefully we do a directory. That's what I want to do. And I will be posting videos and a lot of different things as far as multiple content, not just my content. I don't want to restrict it to my content. I want to open it up, and especially for content creators out there who don't have websites. So like, you know, people who are on Twitch and people who are on YouTube and they don't have something that advertises their channel. That's what my website's going to be about. Just a directory to say, hey, this streamer covers this streamer covers that, this content creator has this website here, this is where you can find lore book guides, this is where you can find Skyshard guides, this, and here's add-ons. That's the kind of website I want to do for Elder Scrolls. So yeah, now I'm going to have to take a look at that today. Thank you, Krill. Thank you. I'll definitely be looking into it. So it's going to be awesome. And that's what I'm pushing for. I'm pushing for, you know, unity. You know, share the love. Share the love. It doesn't matter what you're going to do in endgame. Well, it doesn't matter how competitive you are. We all love the same game, right or wrong. And at the end of the day, that's what we got to do. We got to put differences aside, right? To try to make everybody's gameplay fun. You know, we can all have our own little part of Tamriel. And that's what I like about it. How are the new DLC dungeons? I'm telling you, the devs threw curveballs left and right on these new DLC dungeons. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, dang, man. Oh, they're not skimming. I'm telling you. I'm not going to spoil it. I did do a couple of normals. I've tried it in vets and stuff and did it. I was like, wow. They are pulling no joke. David, there's about as hard as Imperial City dungeons. Yeah, they're no joke. They're like, but the weird thing is the way they did them. It was like, unlike any other dungeons, you have to pay attention to your little layouts, man. Like, you know, if you're running cleanses, when you're cleansing, and can that be cleansed, and does a mechanic come into play? Because you'll think, oh, I'll throw a cleanse, and then all of a sudden, no, you have to play the mechanic. You have to. You have no choice, or die. You know, it's like, oh shit. You know, some things are blockable, other things are positioning. They did really good. I mean, it's really good. You guys will like it. I suggest always trying on normal. Try to learn the mechanic in normal. A lot of people can skip mechanic in normal. Don't do that. Don't do that. Literally pay attention to the mechanic, carry it over to the vet, right? Because like they'll put hints in there, even in the normal. And I hope they continue to do so. Because that's one thing I hate when people's like, oh, I've done this on normal. And they come in vet and the mechanic screws them over because they didn't have to pay attention to mechanic. And the devs this time kind of like threw little curveballs around that. So, yeah, good shit. It's good. What's the lowest amount of health a tank could have and be viable? Well, that's the thing, Super. You know, the Alkosh tanks are only rocking, what, 32? Maybe. I've seen Alkosh takes 28 and they're viable, you know. But their mitigation sucks. You know, I mean, yeah, I mean, they have stamp for days for block. They have crit. Sure. I mean, sure. I mean, you can make any tank viable if you know the tank. Question of it is, what's it doing for your other classes and your other roles? For example, I heal majority of the time. So when I see a tank under 30k, right, or 35, I push 40, at least 40 on my tanks, majority, unless it's a Sork tank. Sork tank, it's different. Its shield system scales max magicka. And I keep him around 35. But the idea is the higher your health, the more you mitigate. But if you know how to use your abilities to your advantage, then you can essentially heal yourself, requiring the healer not to be so, you know, resource starved. So DKs can get major mending, right? And then you can use your coagulating blood follow-up to get that extra heal. But how many tanks run coagulating blood during a trial? Well, that becomes questionable because how many utilities do you have to be throwing up? All of this is all, it all matters. So each tank build is going to be, each of your tank builds are going to be determined on how well you know that class and how you know, sustain. would the resilient Yokita work on the Tesla? I don't know. I don't like any of the Yokitas because of the downtime. That's the only thing I don't like about Yokita. I love the base stats of Yokita, but they need to take a look at that 5 and change Yokita, in my opinion. But I like it. I like Yokita, but that's why I like automated defense or Luna a lot better. I like those tank sets, but nobody uses them. Nobody fucking uses like 2 of the top tank sets that came out for trials, and guess how many tanks are running it in endgame? Big fat 0. It's like, oh my god, really? Don't try to maintain AS under 40k plus though. Trust me, yeah, like seriously, that's why I keep trying to tell people the devs are gonna keep. If we keep screwing up and ignoring what a tank is supposed to do, they're going to keep like saying, you know, screw you guys. We're going to make you want those tank sets. We're going to make you want them. Believe it. It's going to happen. You don't keep fucking with MMO 101. It comes back to haunt you. Don't do it. MMO 101 is a rule for reasons. You do it. 2 houses and Acre in Cold Harbor. He is working to update his version now. Got it. Okay, sweet. Thanks for the input. No problem. You know, like I said, yeah, there's not necessarily a wrong approach, right? And I think every content creator kind of covers that, saying, okay, well, you don't have to go max health, and you can go ahead and mitigate through healing, right? So you're going to take more upfront damage, and you got to know when to shield. So the biggest problem that most tanks have, they're more dependent on block and not their shielding system. And that's kind of a struggle because the shielding system costs, majority of shield system, except Bone Shield, costs Magicka. So that's a boon, that's a benefit to you, right? So when you're using a resource that you don't have to block with so much unless you're a Warden tank and you're using a staff, and you can use that utility, that gives you time to recover. And a lot of tanks miss out on that. But, you know, teach them. I'm working on Berserker Draw Killer Off Tank. Ooh, nice. That sounds pretty promising. I can run without procs. I prefer that. I prefer 100% uptime to proc chance, and I can accomplish the same thing right. And once again, it's all about your approach and understanding how you're going to execute your build. It's a matter of learning the mechanics, right? Mechanics is one of the biggest things, and this is why, despite who I agree or disagree with, one of the main things Outcast said, despite your gear configurations, if you don't know your rotation or you mess up on rotation, you're screwed. That's truth. Majority of a lot of it's rotation, man, and mechanics. I have Lunar. Hasn't tried it yet though. I like Lunar. I love it. I'm like but now with the GCDs, is it going to be as effective? Probably not. That's probably where automated defense is going to actually outshine Luna now, because you know these changes. You know, it's unfortunate, but I get what the devs are doing and why they're doing it. I mean, but you know, automated defense. Really strong setup. You put automated defense on a Sork tank or Nightblade tank, it's a lot. Now, would you put it on a DK tank? You can, but I think a lot of the DK has a lot more flexibility to build configurations because of its kit. Other tanks are a little bit more restricting, you know, how you have to design its build. Because it's like, okay, do I want a high shield system? Do I want a high health return? Do I want to go with this? All of those are going to be factors. Yeah, group knowing mechanics is the biggest key to dungeons and trials, normal and bad. Yeah, like when I was doing pug normal, it was a pug. It was sloppy as fuck actually, but it got to show people how I approach with the DK healer and how I know how to lay out the mechanics, my placement, and everything. That's all important. It's extremely important. It's so important, man, because if you don't know, if you're learning it, it can be a big pain in the ass. That's one of the biggest things. Learning mechanics, getting rotation down is key, and understanding how your class benefits in its build. You know, not every class is going to have the same results with each build because innate passives will take over. My rotation blows. Well, that's the nice thing about tanking the heals. You have to, you know, be aware of what you have to throw and when. You don't have a traditional rotation like DPS, but you have to know your timing becomes issue. That's with tanks and healers. So, you know, it's real. Anyways, guys, I'm going to cut the stream. I want to thank everybody for their support. Thank you, Krill. Thank you. Thanks, everybody, man. I mean, seriously, I mean, wow. It was awesome. Robert, thank you once again. I want to thank all my supporters. I do not have any sponsors for Sponsor Friday tomorrow, so I'm going to be doing another video. Anybody wants me to take a look at their build and do a customization, I have Sponsor Friday, so that's available to sponsors. If you want me to take a look at something and you want me to customize a build for you, I can do that on the PTS. All you have to do is download the YouTube gaming app, click the sponsor button. It costs $5 a month. You do not have to keep it, and then I can go ahead and configure a build for your playstyle, what you're taking a look at, without having to waste time or resources. So that's kind of the nice perk about that type of content. Now, all you have to do is just link it below. It'll show me that you're a sponsor, and then I can do that. So that's every Friday, except when I don't have sponsors asking me to do such. Then I will provide other content. But I do want to thank everybody. Mystic, what's your favorite Mag DK build you ever released? My favorite one is my Asphyxiation. A lot of people don't like it, but it's fun. It deals a shitload of damage. If you go take a look at that vid, I was burning motherfuckers. Like, dude, like the DPS I push out on that is redunculous. It's redunculous. But my most one that I'll use in a trial for the Mag DK is my Backlash. Or my other one with my Burning Spellweave and Julianos. I can't get around that because of the way its mechanics are set up. So all the dots flow in, and then I do a heavy end attack rotation. I can swap out one ability and get a higher proc on heavy if I'm going to run a Mag DK in trial. But if I'm going to run a 4-man, I like the Asphyxiation. Problem of it is I can't use Asphyxiation in trials because it starves in resources. So my other one set up a little bit better, you know, for dot applications and timing, and I can, you know, lay down all the dots and then do heavies. So that's my favorite one, though. If my favorite one to play is Asphyxiation for vets, but if I'm going to do trials on Mag, I always run the other one. It's unfortunate, but it's true. So I practice on World Boss, etc. Try to solo Craglorn Delves, etc. Oh, yeah, dude. We got to get together, man. Definitely, Todd. Great seeing you here, Sherman. Our privilege and honor. Yeah, Sherman, once again, I want to thank Sherman for coming in and talking with us today. If you haven't checked him out, go to his channel. Check out his videos. Hit like and subscribe. Great man. We're going to do a collab together. I always support my fellow content creators. That's what we're about. We're a community. All right, guys, I'm out. I'm going to get on the Xbox. I got some work to do. So, all right, thank you once again. Thank you, every Xbox player out there, for your support. Love you guys. Love you. Much love. I'm Mystic Raven. This is CSO Daily. Thank you for watching. And once again and always, have a nice day.